Good evening, everyone. My name is Rishabh Mishra from RRC Delhi chapter. First of all, I would like to thank you all for joining in for today's evening. And before moving to our program, I think which will be quite interesting and informative one. First, I would like to tell you a bit about RATA. RATA is Refrigeration, Air Conditioning and Trade Association. It's one of the oldest trade association in India. It is 72-year-old. It has a reach to around 5,000 MSMEs, and also see actually it brings people from the entire industry on a common platform to raise their issues, to raise their voice, to raise some of the issues which persist in the industry, and also mutually benefit amongst each other, and enhance business amongst the association members. So I would like to request you all to have a look in our Rata India website as to what all we do, what all kind of programs we conduct, and hopefully you guys will enjoy our programs, which keeps on happening every month. And we have different association from different chapters, as in placed in different locations, different states, and they all conduct monthly programs. So it'll be quite informative and educational for a lot of people from our industry. It will be an experience, I'll say. And moving on to today's program. Today's program is quite an interesting one. It picked up pretty well in India in last 3 years. It's G Suits. So G Suits, a lot of people are familiar with Gmail and calendar, but how synchronized it is and how it can be used in the business world. Today we'll have our guest speaker, Mr. Devang Modi, who will enlighten you with the knowledge of G Suits, how we can incorporate G Suits apps and different modules in our businesses, and how it can help enhance our business efficiently. And that's it. Good to go, Devangji. The stage is all yours, and I hope our viewers will have an entertaining and informative session.
Yeah, thank you, Rishabh ji. First of all, thank you to you and to Rata Delhi for inviting us all the way from Ahmedabad. Although due to COVID, I think we've all realized that boundaries and distances are just mental blocks. I think we have all not only continued our businesses but also thrived in this environment, in this scenario, which has been a global pandemic and something that we never anticipated we will get to see in our lifetime.
Correct.
Thank you for giving this platform and also introducing us. My name is Devang Modi. I am Managing Director of iValue. We have been working in the IT industry for the last 20 years, and specifically looking at the audience that we have been addressing under Rata banner. I'm happy to inform you that this will be our fifth session with Rata as an audience. We've done a number of sessions in Rata West as well as in Gujarat. I would also like to just add that I am here today with a couple of colleagues of mine, Chirag and Sunny, who will also be assisting me in giving you the demo. And I'm sure, as Rishabh Bhai said, we've all been somewhere or the other, we have all been consuming the technology and the element of Google that we have all been utilizing in terms of our mail services or calendar services in some way or the other. What we are just going to cover in the next 20-25 minutes, and also to kind of give you a brief demo of what we are showing you here, is to also highlight the fact that as a product or as a technology, Google has been evolving. Although there is quite a lot of choices available to any business customer today when they are looking at a collaboration, communication, email solution. Namely, you have Office 365 from Microsoft, you have Workspace from Google, and then there are a number of other tools like Zoho, which is much more like an Indian company and which has developed a beautiful suite. But Predominantly, I think we all somewhere in our personal lives have got a Gmail ID, and we have got very used to working on our Gmail email platforms. So we will just briefly cover as to what differentiates your Gmail account with your Google Workspace, or erstwhile which was called as G Suite. Um, if the presentation is on, yeah, perfect. Okay. And if somebody can just hide this screen sharing notification. Yes, thank you so much. Do I have control of the PPT? No, I guess not. So maybe you can just move to the next one. Thank you, Savita. I guess you can see it. So we will obviously also cover a brief demo of Google Workspace, which is basically a combination of different productivity tools, collaboration tools, and which probably you have heard of, like Gmail, Drive, Docs, Sheets, and so on. Sunny, if you could just go to the next one. All right, so here is Google Docs. Google Docs is basically nothing but a replacement, or you can say an alternative to a very popular tool that we've all been using, probably called Microsoft Word, except that Google Docs is completely a cloud-based productivity tool in which you can create documents, you can work with multiple people on the same document, so you can share, you can collaborate. There is also ability to work offline. So although it's a cloud tool, it doesn't mean that you really need to be connected to internet all the time. You can work on offline documents, and then eventually when you are connected, it will sync to your online storage platform, or it will sync to whoever else has been working on that document. So it's a very effective tool in working and collaborating with a number of team members or number of your colleagues who are geographically spread out. They may be in different locations in different time zones, but all of them can be collaboratively working on one document. All the documents also utilize a lot of backend tools wherein you can integrate with different objects which are coming from different sources of data. For example, if you have a Google sheet or you have an Excel sheet where you have captured a table data, you can actually import that table data into Google Docs. You can also import images, you can import web clips, small videos, you can work on graphics, you can work on different 3D objects as well as graphs. So you can create beautiful charts, pie charts, graph charts in the Google Docs as a product. If we can go next, Sunny. So Google Slides is your replacement or an alternative to Microsoft PowerPoint or Keynote from Apple. Again, just like the Google Docs product, this is once again a completely online collaborative tool. It is enabled to work across different devices, different platforms, different geographies. You could share with multiple users within your organization. They could simultaneously edit, they could simultaneously work on and collaborate on this slides, which is basically to create presentations. They work, again, it works offline. You can create and edit presentations. It also has the ability to import PowerPoint presentations and also export to different formats like PDF and PPT and all. You can also make self-running kiosk style presentations once again, and you can also incorporate a number of elements like embedded video, animations, web links, or maybe also pull in some kind of apps which can basically work within the slides platform. It also comes with a lot of pre-made or design templates. So you can start off with a blank slide if you want to, or if you want to create your own template or use one of the predefined templates. They have beautiful templates. and you can do so once again in a very, very collaborative manner. And I'm sure Sunny and Chirag are just going to give you a demo of the same. Next, Sunny. So Sheets, it's an equivalent of Microsoft Excel. This is again, once again, here is where you can create uh, collaborative sheets on which people can work on collaboratively. They also support more than 400 spreadsheet functions. So somebody who's, let's say, a power user in Excel will probably not find difficulty working on Google Sheet, because they would find more or less an equivalent amount of functions, formulae, macros, which will work on this. And you can actually do a lot of number crunching on Google Sheets. Now, one of the things to note is that all of these are individual products, which obviously are even without you subscribing for Google Workspace. If you are a free Gmail user, you still have the ability to work on these, except that when you subscribe to Google Workspace, which is the business version of Gmail, you actually get a lot of control. You get user management, you get rights management, you also get a lot of security management in all of these. So once you have created this once you've subscribed to Google Workspace, and if you're using Docs, Sheets, or Slides, you can then incorporate a lot of user management practices so that your data is secure, your data is not at risk. Um, Somebody with a malicious intent is not able to either steal your data or harm your data. So a lot of business security functionality comes into play in the Workspace edition of Docs, Sheets, and Slides. Let's go next. And then Forms. So again, Forms is a beautiful tool which helps you to create all kinds of forms. So whether it's a customer inquiry form, a customer support form, a ticketing form, a response form, maybe some kind of a order booking form, all of these forms, you can create multiple formats. There are again some templates available. There are a lot of sample forms which have been created, and you can work on those. Forms are a great way to have an interaction with your customers. You can also have feedback forms created, sent out to customer as a simple link. The customer can click, input all the data that you have asked for in terms of a feedback. And then all of that data, once the customer inputs, it goes in the back end, it goes into a database. The database is nothing but slides or a sheets format. Sorry, not slides, but the sheets format. And then you can export it to an Excel, or you can export it to a CSV for further analytics, for running further data crunching ability on that form data. What it also does is, today customers are wary of any kind of a physical interaction that you may want to have with them. So you may deliver service, of course, being a refrigeration service provider as an entity, you may deliver service physically, but when it comes to signing any forms, or inputting any data in a writing format, using a paper and a pen, the customer is going to be wary. This is a new age tool wherein you are able to show to the customer that you are a tech oriented organization, and you can just send them a feedback link later on by WhatsApp or SMS. They can click on that link, fill up the data as you need, the feedback comes to you, and all of that is completely touchless. So it gives a lot of comfort to the customer as well. Go next, Sunny. And Google Meet. So once again, all of these tools, as I said, they are available to you as a free Gmail user, but the moment it comes into Workspace, it basically integrates everything into a very secure, controlled, managed environment. So this is where you can have enterprise-grade video conferencing built into it. Also, enterprise-grade chat. So you can actually have a lot of chat functionality going on within your organization on Google Meet. It also integrates directly with calendars, Google Calendars. So any email invite automatically gets recognized by Google, and it goes into your calendar. You really don't need to worry whether a meeting invite which you have accepted is going to be reflected in your calendar, and whether you're going to miss it or not. So all of this is designed to basically work in a collaborative, secure environment, in a managed environment, wherein you, as the owner of an organization, or your IT teams are basically the ones in control of who gets what. So if you don't want to extend Meet capability or Docs capability to any user who does not have the need for it, you can restrict it, because a lot of data is today out there in the open in our organizations, and we really struggle to manage the access of that particular data. And that is something which, in a managed environment like Workspace, is something which you can rely on. Go next. So again, as I said, Calendar, a great tool. It integrates not only with your Android ecosystem or Windows, it also integrates with iOS devices, Mac devices. So once you have configured your Calendar account, once you have configured your Workspace account into your device, it will basically give you access to each and every of these tools, and they work seamlessly across devices and across platforms. It will integrate with your device calendar, and then every event that is created on the web platform or on the device gets reflected in both the platforms. You will be able to create and share calendar entries. So you could have team calendars. You can have team calendars which are shared across the organization. You can have specific project-based calendars which are shared across with project teams, and you can have individual calendars for yourself, or maybe managing your family events, your birthdays and anniversary reminders, if you may. But all of this, once again, comes into the purview of security of and the admin capability of the Google Workspace tool. Go next. So now we come to, of course, something which we are very, very familiar with, professional Gmail. So now what we mean by professional Gmail is that when you sign up for a free Gmail account, you get an email account with the syntax username@gmail.com or user.name@gmail.com. But since you are an organization, you are a business, you are an entity which wants to reflect yourself as a business entity, not somebody who's using a free Gmail account. It has a huge bearing on your image, your brand reflection with every customer that you're interacting with. And this is a very subconscious thing. You may not really understand the impact of it on the customer who's receiving an email from a Gmail account versus an email which is coming from your own domain name account. So for example, let's say if your company name is ABC Company, and if your domain is abccompany.com, it integrates with your workspace, and it provides you with a domain name based email. So now you are no longer username@gmail.com, you are basically username@abccompany.com. So the person who's receiving your email actually looks at it as a professional email ID, does not give them a reflection that this could still be in the backend working on a Gmail infrastructure or a Workspace infrastructure, but it gives them a completely professional outlook. Now, once you're on that, within the team, like if you have, let's say, 25 people in your team and everybody is using a free Gmail account, you have no control on what's happening on their Gmail account, what kind of data they are exchanging on their personal email accounts, Gmail-based email accounts, in which there could actually be they could actually be transmitting your professional data. In the professional Gmail environment, in a workspace environment, all of this comes under the admin capability to allow, restrict what kind of content, what kind of sharing that they can do, when they can access the email, what email access they have in terms of ability to forward, print, and do a multiple number of activities on the Gmail account. All of it remains under audited admin control. Now, what I mean by audited admin control is every single activity that some user is doing on these accounts is being logged somewhere. So you have an audit trail available for you to go back and check if there has been some activity which is having a harmful intent or a malicious intent within your organization. Next, Sunny. Google Drive, a great storage tool. So every paid user of Google Workspace gets 30 GB, which you can extend, upgrade anytime. So if you need more space for your team accounts, for your shared accounts, you can actually increase storage space on Google Drive. And once again, Google Drive will now integrate across your enterprise with all of these tools that we have shown you. all that data can then go into securely access controlled folders. Files can have settings defined or policies defined. So let's say, for example, you do not want anybody to be able to delete any file on Google Drive, which is stored in any folder within the organization. They will not be able to. So that gives you a lot of data protection in the sense that now you are in control of data which is going on your managed Google Drive, and not only who has got any access or who's able to do what with those. So I believe this is the point wherein we do a demo. Is that so, Sunny, or is there any other slide going forward?
About the admin and security.
Yeah, Sunny, we can see you. So are there any other slides we need to cover before you start the demo?
Yes, we have other two slides which we have to cover about the security and admin panel.
So why don't you take the users through security and admin panel and then start the demo?
Sure, sure. Hello and good evening, everyone. I'm Sunny Patel and I am taking care of the cloud services at iValue System Private Limited. So everybody is concerned about the security. Like my data, every organization's data is very precious to organization. So how can we secure it? So with the help of Google Workspace, you can manage and monitor the recent activities. You can manage the devices where your Gmail account is integrated with third-party applications, which user is made, so which kind of activity and all. You can everything manage within a security. So Google Workspace will allow every user two-way authenticator or a multi-factor authentication for the secure or to secure the particular account. Also, you can monitor and take the logs of every account with the help of admin. You can also manage the login in which you can also manage the login from where and when your user account will be able to log in or not, because somehow what happened, like if some organization XYZ is not allowing any user to log in their domain account into the particular devices, they have the privilege to prevent this malicious login. This is the dashboard and admin. In dashboard and admin, you have everything. You can have 100% privilege. You can manage the users, groups, roles, policies, and everything. In the dashboard, you can monitor all the activity done within your workspace and all, like which user is doing what, how much space particular user is consumes, which user need more space, which user need less space. Everything you can manage within an admin and dashboard. So let's we go through the demo part, so it will be clear to all of you. So first of all, as Devan told you, like we will start with the documents. So to get your documents, you just go on the link, which is docs.google.com. So here at the left hand side above, you will able to see the four parts: docs, sheets, slides, and forms. So let's we go with the docs. Again, Google Docs is a similar to the PowerPoint Word file. To create a Google Doc, you just go to the here and click on this, which is create a blank document for you.
So just a small correction, Docs is your Word equivalent, not the PowerPoint equivalent. I'm sure Sunny meant the other way around, but go ahead, Sunny.
Yeah, okay. Suppose if you have a pre-created Microsoft Word file and you want to open it into your Google Docs. So what you have to do? You just go to the file section, go to the open. Here you have option. You can upload any kind of file from your local system. So suppose here I have test document in a Word format. So now here I am able to open that particular file which stored in my local system in a Word format, which I am able to open in Google Workspace documents. So now let me share with my colleague. So you just go to the share option, which is the right hand side above. You have to mention an email ID. And here you have the option of editor, viewer and commentator. If you go with the viewer, the person is only able to see the file. It is in a read-only format. If you go with the commentator, person is only in a read-only format, but he or she can put some suggestions, like you need to modify this kind of part, or you need to give the perfection of particular paragraph and which whatever present in your documents. So suppose if I go with the viewer, in a setting, you have to prevent like a user viewer cannot see, edit, print and copy. So yes, I allow this, like viewer cannot copy, download or print. So let me go with the editor part. So I am sending to my colleague and he will get an email like XYZ person share XYZ file with you. Now whenever that person is open that file, you can see some changes here. Once he get the access of that file, you can see the changes here. So Mr. Chirag Patel, if you are able to open the file, please open it in your system so that we will take the overview here.
Yes, one second.
So just to add that while Chirag is trying to access and demonstrate the policies that are established by Sunny on this document, what he has demonstrated here with doc is going to be similar to what you would be experiencing across slides, across sheets. The same kind of user control as well as rights control is possible. So your data is always going to be safe and secure. Back to you. So I can see that you can now see that Chirag has joined the document. You can see that he's there in the pink.
So now, as we earlier mentioned, like one people can work on a single person, a multiple person can work on a single paper of document. So here in a pink line, whatever Chirag writes, it will show in. It will go with the pink, and whatever the changes made by me, it was in a black line. If I write here hello, in the description you can able to see like Chirag is writing something. So we can both working on the same document as of now without any interruption. So you can do the same thing with your Google document, Google Sheet and Google Slide. So again, let's open that particular test document on which we are working as of now. So suppose multiple people are working on the same document, and some of your commentator found like we made a huge mistake and we need to restore that document. So for that, you go to the file, click on the version history, where you can see all the version of your documents, sheets and slides. So here, as I create the document on that amount of time, we make some changes. Suppose again I make some changes, it will create again a new version of that particular file. So like that, you can manage on which sheet or on which file, which person is working right now, which person make which kind of changes and all. So you can monitor all the things on a browser only. You do not need to install any particular applications or any kind of third party tool to use Google Docs, Sheets, and Slides. So now, as Devang earlier told you, like every file creation and all the other activities are same. Here you can see the pre-created templates. Based on your requirement, every user can take the reference of that template and start working on that. Like it is an invoice template which was pre-created, so you can use that template and start working on that. Again, the sharing, version history, everything is same as a Google Doc. So let's go to some interesting part, which is Google Form. In the current situation, feedback is important to the every organization, but how can we get it from the customer? Like pen and paper is the old method, and now nowadays people need a social distance. So how can we take the efficient feedback? Google Form is there. Here you have the so many templates which is pre-created for the use. So here I create one order form. Here I have to put some questions based on my requirements, which I already did. And then you have to share it with your customers via email or link. So suppose I am sharing it with my colleague and just send. Now, suppose you have the 50 number of users who purchased your product last day. So you need to response back from them. So here you have to create a form, share it with the customer, and whenever the customer is get back to you with the response, all the response is measured here, and you can collect all the required information into the spreadsheet from here. So you can find the pain points, which service they loved the most, which kind of product they loved most, and which product you need to implement. Everything you can measure once you get the download that spreadsheet. So it is the Google Form. Then Google Meet. So Google Meet you can access from here, which is a 9 dot. You go to the Google Meet, and here you have the passcode or everything. You can join the meeting. But if you need to create a meeting, how you can create? For that, you go to the calendar. In a calendar, here you can see the create tab. On create, you just give it to the test title, whatever be the title. Now, what is the agenda? It is an event, out of office task or appointment set, whatever will be, on what time, and who will be the guest. Like there, if you have the 100 people, you can add here the 100 people also. And you just save it, and it will ask you for the sending the invitation to the invitees. Now here you can see the calendar has been created for me. Like I am the organizer. At the 6:45, I have one meeting. Whenever I reach that particular time at the 6:40, Google Workspace will send me the notification like you have a next meeting at the 6:45. So be prepared for that. Again, we talk to the calendar, like how can we utilize the calendar in our current organization. So like you can see so many calendars here. If you want to create a new calendar, just go to the here, click on plus button. Here you can subscribe the existing calendar, or you can go with the new calendar. Just name it, what will be the description, and just create calendar. Calendar has been created successfully. So now here is your calendar. Now you can share your calendar with the whole organization or your particular teammates. So your teammates and your organization will notify like on which time you are vacant or which time you have a schedule or a meeting or anything. So like that you can utilize the calendar into your organization. Now Google Drive. So with the Google
So Sunny,
Workspace,
before you start the Google Drive, I just wanted to just quickly share with all the participants and guests that in case if you have any questions, please do note down the questions or put it on the chat box, and we will be taking all the questions at the end of the session. Thank you. Sunny, you can go ahead, please. Yeah.
yeah. So here in a Google Drive, you will get the 30 GB of space. All your Google Docs, Sheets, Slides, and Google Form response, everything will be stored within your Google Drive. Within your Google Drive, you can share your Google Drive with your colleague, with your teammates and all, where you can work together. So in my Google Drive, I have so many folders. Everything which I created till now, it is stored into the particular within my Google Drive. So that if you need to access of any kind of document, you just go to the Google Drive and open it. This is the test document on which we are working just a moment ago. So everything will be stored within a Google Drive. If someone shares something to you, it will also propagate into your Google Drive. Like if this kind of documents has been shared with me, I can see that within a shared with me section. Again, we already inform you like you can work offline also. So how you can make the document offline? So suppose you need to offline that particular document, you go to the file section and here make available offline, which is disabled as of now. It is based on the plan, Google Workspace plan. So from here you can make it available offline. So without internet, any of your person can make some changes. It will propagate at that time and it will sync once it will connect with the internet. So now how you can manage the security features? So you just go to the right hand side, which you have your organization's logo, go to the manager Google account, and from here you can manage the securities. Here it is a green mark like my security checkup has successfully completed. Here it is a recent activity. If I click on the review recent activity, it will shows like on which kind of devices I have signed in and signed out. Also my two-step verification is also on for the security purpose. In case somehow I forgot my password and all, so how can I recover? So I have a recover mobile number and a recovery email address also. These are my devices in which my email address is signed in. Like it is my mobile number, it is my device and all. These are the third-party applications on which I can directly sign in with my G Suite Google Workspace account on the Windows as well as Mozilla. So from here, you can manage the security part of your Google Workspace account. Here, my device is 6 sign in devices, recent activity. So it is, yeah. So I logged in that particular device since last 28 days. Two-step verification is on. Third-party access, yeah. If you need to remove like none of my email address is directly sign in with the third-party application, you can remove also. And also my vacation responder is on. In case somehow one of your colleague or one of your organization member is on a leave, so he need to be turn on the vacation responder like on a particular this time to this time I am not available, so you will not get back hurt from XYZ person. Like that you can manage the security part also. So this is from our side, like this much of applications comes up with the G Suite plan. and how can we utilize within an organization. So if anyone has a question, please raise your question. We are good to answer it.
Great. Thanks a lot, Sunny, for the demo. I'm sure all the guests and participants have found the demo useful. As I said earlier, you may already be using some of the other elements of Gmail and G Suite in your business. We just hope that, in case if you are wanting to understand a little more in terms of what more can be done or what are the possibilities, we are there to help you. So Rishabh ji and Parushan ji, thank you so much. In case if there are questions, we can take them.
First of all, I
Thank
would
you.
like to thank you, Devangji, for such a wonderful, insightful, and informative session. And the way Sunny, made it more simply in a very simplified manner. He explained all the modules of G Suite. I'm sure a lot of our viewers will definitely today only they'll delve into these small modules and probably will try out their hands. And before moving on to the question, I personally had one question as to what is the difference between the free and the paid version in the G Suite? So that
So
if you can give, because I'm sure a lot of people already have Gmail accounts and they have certain modules already embedded in their system. But what
right.
extra they'll get when they make professional account?
Sure. So I'll just try to answer that question quickly, and then I'll have Sunny if there are any points I've missed out. So first and foremost is, as I said, it's from a branding and image perspective. You use, let's say for example, I use devang.modi@gmail.com. The
Correct.
receiver is obviously understanding that it's a personal email ID. Vis-a-vis when I send it from devang@ivalueindia.com, it gives the reflection that it is a business account, it's a company or it's an entity, it's a domain which is in my own company's name. And so the branding or the image element is obviously taken care of. Secondly, the moment you go into the workspace account, obviously the features that you get in the free Gmail are very much common now. But here you are able to now create teams. You are able to create organizational accounts within your workspace. So let's say if you have multiple companies under your umbrella, so you subscribe to Workspace, you have different domains for each and every business, but all of them can be managed under one single umbrella. So you can now start giving email IDs from each and every domain to users, but the admin still has control on one single pane of glass, right? So that's how we look at it. One single pane of glass is one screen. I don't have to go around looking at multiple admin areas. The third and foremost is that it brings everything under an accountability with an audit trail and security and provisioning of policies and rights. So as Sunny was demonstrating that in case if you're creating a document and then now you want to share it with your team member, but you don't want the team member to be able to edit, then they will only be a viewer. If you don't want somebody to be able to print the document, they can only view it and edit it on the screen, but they cannot print it. And so
Okay.
a lot more security parameters are brought into the purview. Plus the collaboration piece. Like for example, if you try using the Workspace collaboration tool, your teams will actually be able to collaborate much more effectively because now you're able to see who's doing what changes are made. If you remember that we used to use a feature of Word called review and track changes. So
Correct.
here you are able to see all the changes right there in front of you. So you have a review and track pane, you open it, you are able to see which user has made
Live
what
changes.
change in the document. Live changes are there. So these are some
Correct.
of the added benefits and elements. Of course, more storage per
Hmm.
account is what is getting delivered. And then the ability to create shared storage drive, so shared folders on the drive, as well as integration of meeting and calendars.
Okay. So now
Sunny,
I'll
is
have
there
my.
something I have left out? Please do add. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I have my associate Paryushan from Data Delhi to ask further questions. He has a lot of questions from the bank of the companies who are our associates. So here you go, Paryushan.
Thank you, Rishabh. Devangji, first of all, I would like to thank you for the excellent session. I can read the comments right now. Everybody is, putting up like interesting topic, excellent session, something which is a need of an
Thank you.
hour, I believe. And what I personally believe that this lockdown has been specifically a blessing in disguise to digitize your business. Earlier a lot of companies, small MSMEs, used to do work on papers or on Excels and Word files. But recently, what I understand, it is more of a collaborative working when a lot of people are working from home and in remote locations for sharing file again and again becomes Word file or Excel file becomes a hassle sometimes. So
Yeah.
yes, collaborative working is one of the key features that I've been also using in G Suits. Um, I have still a couple of questions, although you have answered most of the questions while talking to Rishabh, but I still have some of the questions. First question is, what is the size of a workspace of Google Drive that we get as compared to the free version?
So the free version gives you 15 GB, and the workspace version gives you 30 GB.
Great. A second question that I have is, what will be the security of file sharings? For example, like you said, you can make it a viewer, you can make it a commenter, or you can make it an editor. But the file I'm sharing with my colleague or my partner, can it be copied? Can it be downloaded? And what are other security features that are available in it?
Sunny, would you like to take that one?
Yeah, let me take this. While the sharing that file, you can prevent it like from the copying, downloading, and print it. As well as when you share the file with your colleague or XYZ person, it will generate some logs. Whenever that person is trying to access that particular file, within when you open that file, you can see all the logs like this kind of changes has been done within that file. That file was opened particular that time on particular that day. Everything you can manage within that file. So with the Google Workspace, you can monitoring each and every single activity which has been done with your files. So these are the securities which come up with the Google Workspace.
Okay. I have one more question that is like, something I would just like to know. Google has two kind of workspaces, what I personally know. One is the Google Workspace, what is happening, what we are seeing right now. They also have a legacy free edition, if I'm not wrong. And it used to be quite prevalent like 10 years back or 12 years back. And what is the basic difference in legacy free edition of Google Workspace and the current workspace? If you can highlight some.
Yeah, so firstly, Google, yeah, so years back, Google did come out when they first started the G Suite. They came out with free signups. A lot of us actually got into the G Suite at that time, and we had this free sign up, and we got a few number of accounts also free. But of late, we are seeing that Google is slowly transitioning all the free accounts and moving them onto the paid version. In different territories, they are doing it differently. So not necessarily that it's happening right now in India. So a lot of accounts in India which were free continue to be free, but we are also hearing from some customers that they have been starting to get intimations about the free version ending, and then they have to move to the paid version soon. Of course, the any new sign up today on Workspace is only going to be paid. It's not going to be free anymore. There is nothing like a free business or a G Suite account or a Workspace account. The only free thing that exists right now is your personal Gmail ID, which continues to be free.
Okay, great. Thank you. Another question that I have is, should I migrate my current email services to Google Workspace? Which is a very basic question that I have. So, what do
Yes,
you
in fact, it's a
suggest?
great question. You see, when we all probably started our journey on the internet early in the days, we established our website. So we got a domain name, and along with the domain name, the web hosting service providers used to give email IDs, right? So somebody will give you 5 email IDs, somebody will say 25 email IDs, and somebody will say unlimited email IDs if you are a large web hosting account. Those emails used to work on a protocol which is called as POP. So POP3 protocol was the one which was used. So in POP, what you used to be able to do is either you are using a mail account, a mail software like a Microsoft Outlook or a Thunderbird, and which would download the mails as they are coming onto the email server, right? So they are just coming, the emails are getting received by the email server, and your mail account software is downloading it into your machine or your device. So you didn't have the ability to access the email on multiple devices because it has already been downloaded on one device. When Google came out and then Microsoft Office and Exchange came out with this ability to work on the same email across multiple devices, it all happens on two protocols. One is what Google uses, which is called the IMAP protocol, and what Exchange uses is their own Exchange protocol. So with this, what happens is now you have multiple devices accessing the same email ID and the same emails existing everywhere. So if you delete an email from one device, you automatically have deleted it from your email account. But you have the ability to work on different devices. So while I have my emails coming onto my Mac, I also have the emails coming onto my iPhone, and I can work on any device at any time. So with time, what happened is that those free email accounts which used to come with our web hosting actually lost a lot of traction because they were not giving us any kind of a flexibility. They were not giving us room to grow. They were not giving us features of collaboration or features of being able to back up my data on the cloud. So now is a great time, and I think you put it very right when you started off saying that in COVID as a calamity, we all have seen opportunities of multiple scales. We have done a lot of things in our businesses that we probably never did in the last 10 years. So now is a great time to move your business from any of these such kind of email servers or email providers to something which is more futuristic, more collaborative, like either a Google Workspace or Office 365. And we work with both, so we understand that there are benefits to organizations or businesses on both the platforms. So you must think of moving your business in this direction eventually, because the reliability that you get with any of these providers is far, far greater than what you would get on a typical web hosting provider.
Absolutely right. I even agree, because we should shift to a more progressive platforms or ecosystem, which have a scalability to take your business to next level. And because every day we face a lot of challenges. It can be security, it can be automotive, it can be integrative, and I believe that because I am a Google user myself, G Suite user, so it gives me a lot of flexibility in that ways. Now now comes to the last and most important question. हम दिल्ली वाले बोलते हैं मूला, आई डोंट नो गुजरात में क्या बोलते हैं.
मूला सब जगह सेम ही होता है.
So what will the price for a G Suite or a Google Workspace version that comes with, or we can say what will be the minimalistic cost that somebody has to bear, if he has to go with a G Suite or the Google Workspace?
Sunny, do you want to pull up the slide?
Yes. Just a moment. Let me share my screen.
So anticipated question. So we have a slide on which you can get to see what is there in terms of the Google Workspace. But again, a great question from your end. And before we move on to that, I just wanted to share one more tip or a piece of information. It's not a tip I am giving. It's just a piece of information about the Google Workspace as a platform. So as you know, we now have a lot more tools in our business, right? So we could be using a CRM tool to capture a lot of customer data. We could also be using a supply chain management tool. We could be using a service desk tool for basically ticketing and providing customer service. And it could be from different providers. These tools are available from different providers like a Zoho or a Freshdesk or a Salesforce CRM and so on and so forth. Now, in the current scheme of things in this cloud-dominated world, all of this come with an ability called API. So they have API integration. Now, for example, if you are using Google Workspace and now you are integrating a CRM, let's say a Zoho CRM or a Salesforce CRM, you can connect your Google Workspace with that Zoho CRM or with Salesforce CRM. And now what happens is that, let's say I get a lead from a customer who has sent me an email. It automatically shows up in my CRM as a new lead. Whatever interaction now I am doing on that lead via email on Google Workspace is all getting captured into that CRM. So I now have a single tool which is basically connected to multiple tools also. So it's no longer a confined tool like just Workspace or just email or just collaboration. It now extends its capability. So we have there is a tool called Marketplace. There's a
Yes, I was about to
facility
cover
called
that.
Marketplace. Yeah, so Marketplace is where you find a lot of added integrations which can be brought into your Google Workspace account. It can give you surveys, it can give you invoicing tools, it can give you forex or accounting tools, and all of that is now integrated and controlled and managed within the same Workspace account. So a lot more can be done if you are here on one of these tools. In terms of pricing, as you can see on the screen, there is what is called as an SMB promo offer. So for any business who is within the 1 to 20 users bracket, there is a 1,500 rupees per user per annum, which is the Workspace basic plan. If you want to have more than 21 to 25 users, you have basically 2,520, and then you have higher plans like 26 to 50 users and 51 to 75 users, and there are other plans also you can go on increasing. As you would see in the bottom notes, we are able to now migrate your email accounts from Exchange 2003, 2007, 10, 13, 16, O365, GoDaddy. You could be on a generic IMAP account. You could be on PST files. You could be on IBM Notes. All of this can be brought in. So if you are already on one of these existing email service providers, you don't have to worry what will happen to my data. It all can be brought in here. One of the most important aspect which we didn't cover in this seminar, in this presentation, is something called as Google Vault. Now, Google Vault is an ability for you to archive your emails. All right. So we all change devices. We all move across different devices, and we have been in business for long, right? So we have emails which are, so for example, I have emails on iValue domain name from 2011. Now I am in 2021. So 10 years of emails lying there. It is obviously occupying space. I can go on increasing the space. But what happens is I want to archive something now. I just want to put it into an archive, which is there. It is my data, but I can actually retrieve it the day I want or day I need for any compliance related matter or any legal matter. So I use something called as Google Vault. So Google Vault is an added tool which can be brought into Google Workspace. It's an added subscription. And now I have the ability to automatically archive my emails. So for example, if I've ended the financial year 2021, and I said, okay, I have all my folders created, I have all my labels created, I just want to archive all the mails from FY19, before FY19. So FY19 and before. So I can automatically just give a command on my Workspace account in Vault, and automatically all those emails get, into the Vault. And now it is my safe storage. It is called Vault. It's more like a bank locker that you're just putting everything that you don't need right now into your Vault. So a lot of things are possible. A lot of abilities are there in the tool and platform.
Thank you so much. This is what I was talking to you. It's a scalable version of digitization, and with moving time forward, we should keep looking for these kind of avenues and these kind of platforms, and how should I say, the ecosystem. It is not a platform anymore; it's an ecosystem altogether. And
It's an ecosystem. You rightly put it. Yes.
Yes, and the way Google is upscaling themselves, in time to come, they will come up with more new applications, more new features. Like what you said, Vault is something, and a new feature for me also to understand. So yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Devang. Thank you so much, Sunny Patel. Thank you so much, Chirag, from your backend. It was wonderful learning session for me. 1 hour was like full action packed thing, and I hope that all Rata members and all the viewers of this webinar would be enjoying the show. They can connect to with Devang Bhai anytime they want, for their the projects. If they want to come up with the Google suits in their own organizations, they can connect with him personally off the records. So we'll try to share the details also. If somebody wants it, we can share it with you. Thank you so much. Before ending the session, I would request everybody who's watching the show, thank you so much, and who is not a Rata member, please become a Rata member. It's a great organization. It is one of the oldest trade association in India for the refrigeration and air conditioning trade association. We come up with a lot of value webinars like this, and we also help you to scale your business, to come up with the issues what you are facing with MSMEs, and and it will help you to overall synchronize your business and upscale your business. Thank you so much. Have a good day.